Hurricane Milton made landfall on Florida's west coast on Wednesday and marched across the center of the state. The storm so far has whipped up deadly tornadoes, destroyed homes, and knocked out power to nearly 2 million customers. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Milton made landfall around 8:30 p.m. as a Category 3 hurricane south of Tampa Bay, with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. By 11 p.m., wind speeds had reduced to 105 miles per hour, dropping Milton to a Category 2. A flash flood emergency was in effect for the Tampa Bay area, including the cities of Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater, with St. Petersburg getting over 16 inches of rain on Wednesday, according to the NHC. Eyewitness video verified by Reuters showed strong winds there ripping pieces off of the roof of Tropicana Field Stadium, where the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team plays. Milton's eye landed in Siesta Key, a barrier island town of some 5,400 off Sarasota, about 60 miles south of Tampa Bay, where it had been thought the storm would land. Governor Ron DeSantis said he hoped Tampa Bay could avoid major damage, and that the worst of the predicted storm surge could be avoided thanks to the landfall coming before a high tide. Forecasters said seawater could still rise as high as 13 feet. DeSantis reported Milton had also spawned at least 19 tornadoes that caused damage in numerous counties, destroying around 125 homes. NBC News said that at least 2 deaths were reported at a retirement community following a suspected tornado in Fort Pierce on Florida's eastern coast. Milton was expected to cross the Florida peninsula overnight and emerge into the Atlantic, still with hurricane force, on Thursday.
It's been another blockbuster 12 months for Uniqlo. On Thursday, parent firm Fast Retailing posted a third straight year of record earnings. Operating profit jumped 31% to over $3.3 billion. That was ahead of both company and analyst forecasts. And Fast Retailing says it expects profits to climb yet further next year. Known for its affordable basics, Uniqlo has been boosted by a weak yen. That increases the value of its overseas earnings and encourages tourists to splurge while they're in Japan. China looks less positive, however. With more than 900 stores there, the country is Uniqlo's biggest overseas market. It has become a bellwether for retail in the world's second biggest economy. But China's sluggish recovery has sapped consumer confidence, weighing on sales. Founder Tadashi Yanai, Japan's richest man, has long aimed to make Uniqlo the world's biggest fashion retailer. European rivals H&M and Zara stand in the way of his goal. But Yanai says a consumer shift from luxury to value will help his firm grow more in the years ahead.
We have 9 African penguins, and they are on our first floor in their home. But we do have temporary home built for them, and they've moved up to the second floor, well above any type of tidal surge that might affect the building. And then we have several animals around the building that are on the ground floor that have all moved to second floor locations and safe locations that we plan for things like this. So they have nice homes, even though they may be a little temporary.
Okay, we'll just follow along. Okay.
We fled from the bombing, from the rockets that were coming to us. Our homes were destroyed. Come and see the people who are displaced here. They have been humiliated.
Is there anyone who's not scared of war? Especially, we have a child with us. God help us and help the people.
In order to understand how proteins work, you need to know what they look like.
So this year, we're awarding discoveries to these 2 areas. Proteins, they are antibodies that enable our immune response.
What we have done with protein design is discover how to make new proteins that can solve new problems. And so what my colleagues and I have been working on, or are working on now, is to design new proteins that would be improved medicines, improved vaccines.
We have known for over 50 years that all the information is in this pearl of strings. The floppy spaghetti knows what to do, but scientists, we don't understand that. And this is what we solved today. You know, today's prize is awarded to understanding. Now you can take a sequence of amino acids, in principle do Google search, and out comes the structure of the protein.
Just leave you with a message.
Harvesting is underway on the slopes of this olive grove, but this isn't a southern European country, as you might expect. Amid Europe's warming climate, these olive trees are thriving in Hungary. Near the city of Pécs, Gabor Stix has been experimenting with an olive grove for years. Stix cultivates trees for sale and expects all those grown this year to be sold by March. They love this climate, he says. And according to him, the country's olive tree industry is gaining popularity.
There are more and more of us. It's not just 1 or 2 people getting into it. We are growing exponentially.
Since 2008, winemaker Csaba Tarok has bought around 200 olive trees from Spain to plant in his vineyard. It's near Lake Balaton in western Hungary, on a volcanic butte with sunny slopes, ample rain and rich soil. And his trees are happy there.
We increasingly belong to a climate where these trees can find a home on the better slopes. For me, it's not about wanting a decorative tree. I see these trees as an integral part of the landscape here in the future.
Tarok takes his hand-picked olive crop to neighbouring Slovenia to be made into virgin oil. He then sells that for around $120 per litre, or about 34 fluid ounces. Southern Europe is becoming like a desert in its climate, Tarok says, and the areas where olive groves can flourish appear to be shifting northwards. Spain usually supplies around 40% of the world's olive oil, but it has suffered poor olive harvests in the past 2 years, no thanks to heat waves and a prolonged drought. That's doubled olive oil prices to record levels, though the Spanish Farm Ministry said last week there are signs of a recovery this year. According to the European Environment Agency last month, the continent is the fastest warming in the world, and it faces a greater risk of drought in the south. Nowadays, even north of Hungary in Slovakia, it's become trendy to plant olive trees to give gardens a Mediterranean feeling. Garden centre owner Istvan Vas has imported some 25 truckloads of olive trees from Spain this year, selling them for about $330 to $550 per tree. There are lots of olive trees planted outside in the gardens, and they cope really well, he says. Still, Vas recommends covering them up for the first winter to protect them from the freezing temperatures that do take place.